UK vegans, I'm calling it. We are officially in a crisis. The vegan cult is real and it's come for wagamama. We've all seen a decline in vegan products and like vegan options in restaurants for a while now. Probably for the last like year or two, it's really been like ramping up and we've all been sweating a bit. We've all been a bit nervous. But there was one restaurant that seemed to really still care about us and even had a pledge to get their menu up to 50% plant-based. And they have totally stabbed us in the back. And yes, I am talking about wagamama. It's still so painful that they haven't just gotten rid of the vegatsu. They have gotten rid of so many vegan options. The vegatsu was probably one of their most popular, well-known vegan options, but they also had like the K-dogs, which I really liked. I think they had like vegan chili squid at one point. They had a vegan chicken too, just in a variety of dishes. And they've recently cut it all. Like there is no fake meat left at wagamama. And I went there at the weekend and there were still lots of veggie dishes, like the vegan yasai yakisoba I've been ordering since like I first went vegan 18 years ago. Back then I did have to order it like without eggs, and over the years certain variations would change, but yeah, that's still available. But like I said, that's what was available when I went vegan in 2007, so that's hardly a victory. And there are a few other dishes there of like mushrooms and stuff, but as someone that has been vegan for a long time, wagamama has always been great for vegans because of those like very basic dishes which they now still have on the menu and they're expecting us to be grateful for. Like, I'm just really shocked because over the years we have seen many a vegan dish come and go, but they've always treated us with like a type of excitement and creativity and innovation, like whether or not it was their watermelon tuna, or I think they've done like a vegan egg before, and just lots of fun vegan things, especially around Veganuary time. But yeah, they've just culled everything, and the vegatsu is one of their most like beloved vegan dishes, and I'm just floored that one's gone. I do understand they had a lot of vegan dishes on the menu and maybe they weren't all gonna survive, but for the vegatsu to go, it's just wild. But anyway, yeah, in this video we are gonna talk about the great vegan call of 2025, mostly talking about wagamama, what's happened, why they've done this, and what it really means for the vegan movement, as well as looking at other companies and products that have done this as well, and to show that this is part of a wider trend and it's not just wagamama. And we'll also really touch on why it's so painful coming from wagamama versus some of these other places. So yeah, this is going to be a tough one, and it's really tough to come to terms with seeing a decline of this scale of vegan foods in the UK. We do still have plenty of launches going on, like Bosch even just a couple of weeks ago have launched a whole new ready meal range in Tesco, so it's not like we're completely on the decline. So it's just confusing to see like the restaurants battering us so much. So yeah, apparently wagamama have said about the issue that they've made a number of updates to their menu in October, including several new items, both vegan and non-vegan, to keep our offering fresh and exciting. These include our new vegan katsu udon, a new bao bun range, and bento boxes for kids. As part of this refresh, also removed a small number of dishes, both vegan and non-vegan, to ensure our menu continues to evolve in line with what our guests want most. And then addressing its vegan offering, they added that they continue to offer a wide range of vegan options. All of our most popular vegan dishes remain on the menu, with our top 5 vegan dishes accounting for 78% of all vegan sales. And we keep developing new and exciting plant-based dishes as part of our future menu updates. I will say I am pretty shocked by that the vegatsu isn't in the top 5. I do wonder what is actually their top 5 dishes, because they do have a lot of vegan things on the menu and you may not think of everything as vegan. For example, the top 2 could include edamame and edamame with chili and garlic salt, because I imagine those are big bestsellers, like lots of people just order them to start off their meal. With so many sides and stuff, like the wok fried greens as well being vegan. Are they in the top 5 bestsellers? I would just be curious just to see like what their top dishes are and if that was actually a valid reason for getting rid of all these vegan options. Like I say, I understand sampling back the menu a little bit, but I just really struggle to believe that the vegatsu was performing that badly, considering how upset everyone is. And like so many times I see vegans go to wagamama and it is the vegatsu that they order. It's just so beloved and such an icon. It's like Greg's getting rid of the vegan sausage roll. They'll get rid of like the steak bake and the festive one and the cheese one, but they never get rid of the sausage roll, you know what I mean? Yeah, just really bizarre from wagamama. But yeah, it is also shocking to hear that 78% of their sales come from just 5 dishes, which shows that, you know, the majority of people are just ordering the same 5 dishes from the vegan range, and maybe they didn't need to have such a wide variety. I'm just shocked because like if anyone's been to wagamama, right, they had 2 like vegan katsu curry dishes. One was the vegatsu and another one was with like, oh, what was it, sweet potato or aubergine or pumpkin or something. It's a very vegetable based one. Did people actually get that? I don't know. I think I got it once and I just thought it wasn't worth it. If I wanted a vegetable based dish at wagamama, there were other things to go for, but if I wanted the vegatsu, it was the vegatsu that I'd want to get. But maybe that's just me. I'm so curious to hear what you guys all thought about the dishes at Wagamama. Personally, out of the ones that have been cut, I am actually most upset about the K-dogs. I really like the K-dogs. But it does feel like the menu has just like slimmed down a lot just in general. And I wonder if they're in trouble and it's a big cutback and they've got a way bigger markup on a vegan dish made of mushrooms versus a vegan dish made of fake meat. I wonder if that's the real reason, because there is such a huge markup on vegan dishes, which are literally just vegetables. It does not cost a lot to make vegan food, especially when you're not using meat alternatives or dairy alternatives. So I imagine the markup on our dishes, which are priced very similarly to the meat dishes, I wonder if they're just squeezing us for profit. And yeah, we don't know. We can only go by what they've said. So that is just speculation on my behalf. And do you know what? It is just disappointing if you're a vegan and you go somewhere and the menu has like either a menu full of fake meat or a menu full of vegetables. Because sometimes you do want that lighter food, that healthier food, but other times you kind of want a bit more protein in your meal, and the fake meats are often a good way to do that. If you're getting rid of like fake meat in your menu, they definitely needed to up the tofu and some of the other dishes. So it was disappointing that they didn't do that. I'm just very disappointed. I really thought we were friends, us and Wagamama. Like I said, they had a pledge to have their menu be 50% vegan, and it's still on their website, so we will read it out. Join our plant pledge. Our world is demanding action, but where do we begin? We believe in small choices create big change, and collectively we can make a difference. Eating less meat and dairy has been dubbed the most essential and ownable action we can all take to reduce carbon emissions. Which is why our plant-based bowls make up 50% of our menu, a commitment we met in 2021. That same year we launched our plant pledge and saw over 14,000 of you join our journey and make your own plant pledge for the planet. This year we go again, whether it's finding a new go-to vegan side or choosing to eat meat-free for half the week. Positive change can start small and begins with all of us. According to their statement, they were increasing the vegan options in their restaurant because they understood that we're in a climate crisis and how good it is to be vegan for the environment. Maybe they could have done more about that on the menu and really hit home like the more climate friendly dishes, which just so happen to be vegan. Like if they had a little icon saying like, oh, this one's better for the environment or whatever. I think that would have been good, but basically they have said, we want to hit 50% plant-based options on our menu to be better for the environment. That is really important to us. They didn't say we're trying to get more vegan options because we think we're going to get more money. They've literally said it's for the environment. What has changed? Because it's still way better to be vegan for the environment than eating meat. This to me feels a bit like greenwashing in the sense that it looks like they tried to get more vegan dishes when it was profitable, pretended it was for green reasons, and then when they're not making as much money from it, they roll back, proving that it was all about profit and never about the environment. That's how it's starting to feel, and it's never felt that way before with Wagamama. I feel like for a long time there, they were treating us with like respect and creativity. Like they would come out with really exciting vegan options in Veganuary. They were the ones to watch out, and even though they were sometimes temporary, you could rely on them to have a good menu year round. And like, I don't know if you guys know, but the origins of the term greenwashing actually came from hotels. You know, when you go into a hotel and it'll have a sign saying like, please like reuse your towels for a couple of days or a few days in the interest of being better for the environment. But really it's that it's cheaper for the hotels to run if you reuse your towels. It's a great example of how eco swaps are often energy saving and money saving swaps. But also, yeah, just the origins of greenwashing, which is masquerading a money saving goal as an environmental duty and choice. Which is why I really draw a parallel here, because it sounds like their plant pledge maybe didn't mean as much to them as they wanted us to believe it did. And like I say, it's not just Wagamama that are rolling back on their vegan options. I saw this TikTok the other day, which really like took me down memory lane. And honestly, when it comes to eating out, I feel like we've all got our different favorites, different places that we go to. So for example, I had completely forgotten about Subway and they meant a lot to a lot of people. So like this TikTok I saw was really talking about like Subway and how they used to have so many options for vegans, particularly that meatball marinara was like so popular. The Domino's pepperoni, the vegan nuggets at Burger King, and oh my god, Christmas is taking a hit. You may not have seen, but basically people on the internet have called out M&S. They are not bringing back like their no turkey vegan Christmas sandwich. They have instead brought out a falafel wrap. They've literally gotten rid of their vegan turkey sandwich and brought out a falafel wrap with I think a bit of cranberry sauce in it for us vegans this Christmas. And look, I'm a vegan. I've been vegan for a long time. I love falafel, but not in a supermarket sandwich. No. I want, if I want falafel, I want it from a Middle Eastern stall with lots of fresh veg and tahini and like deep fried falafel wrapped up. So warming, so filling, so delicious. I do not want like this pathetic little cranberry wrap from M&S. It's just embarrassing the vegan options we're getting these days. Not to mention Greg struggles to have like 2 vegan options on the go at once. Heaven forbid any more. And Texas barbecue Pringles, I'm still so sad about. It's just so frustrating to see people lose it with us vegans and watching these options disappear, especially like very similar options disappear, and we're just being left again with like the sort of options we had 10 years ago, like the falafels, like the complete cull of the vegan fake meat. And I'm sure I've missed so many, so if I haven't mentioned your favorite vegan option that like got the cull in the last couple of years, please like drop it down below. I want to take a moment for all of our fallen soldiers on the vegan food scene and just kind of remind ourselves what we used to have. But yeah, I want to go into speculation. What is going on here? Like, why are we losing so many products? Is there anything we can do to stop it? First conspiracy theory, particularly being thrown around at the moment around wagamama, but also one you hear a lot of times whenever something gets discontinued, it's that, are they just pulling back so that they can relaunch everything a little bit more expensive for Veganuary, or just so that they can have something to launch in Veganuary without putting in any extra effort and innovation? Possibly. I mean, time will tell. We don't have to wait that long, and I'm sure I will be reporting on it come Veganuary if that is the case. It's frustrating because we are vegan all year round, not just for Veganuary. And to be honest, I don't feel like we're getting as many people take up Veganuary in the UK at the moment, and restaurants would just do better to become a safe space for vegans where, like, you know, when you're out with your friends who don't want to go to a vegan restaurant, you have just a chain restaurant. Wagamama used to really be up there. That's why me and my boyfriend there on Saturday night. We knew it was a place that we both liked that did decent vegan options. At least used to. They still do, to be fair on them, just nothing like what they used to be. And you really have to be in a certain mood to eat there now, whereas beforehand there was enough on the menu that no matter what I was craving or how hungry I was, there was a dish that was speaking to me in the moment. But yeah, it's just really helpful to be that restaurant where, you know, if people go out vegan and they know a chain restaurant is good for vegans, you might be like, oh yeah, let's go there. It just sounds like that would make better business sense to me, but what do I know? But yeah, I do think that it's a reasonable theory. Wagamama have a long history of engaging in Veganuary, and I would just be so disappointed if their Veganuary option is just gonna be like, hey, we brought back the vegatsu, and it's like, you didn't have to take it away from us. So yeah, that's theory number one. I also, once I've gone through all the theories, want to hear which one you think it is, or if there is further theories that I have not considered. Number two is that it is like cost demand driven. We have touched on that already. Like, is it actually not profitable to have all these vegan options anymore? And I really do think it is a case of like, one, they may not be selling as well, which could be true, and the reasons why I will mention next. But it also, as I said earlier, it could just be that the profit margins are so much bigger on the dishes that are vegan without fake meat than those that are vegan with fake meat. It also could be a supplier issue. Maybe they are just struggling to get like the quantities in and they don't want to admit that, but I feel like places generally would admit that. So I'm not really confident on that. And fourth theory is this is a further consequence of all the bad press around vegan meats over the last couple of years. I totally flagged this in my trend prediction of 2025. It's just that with the rise in concern of ultra-processed food, vegan foods have taken an unfair brunt of that criticism. And I've done many a video of how frustrating and inappropriate that is. Vegan foods have definitely been unfairly criticized for ultra-processedness. And that means that a lot of people, both vegan and non-vegan, are avoiding a lot more vegan fake meat. Whereas a few years ago, people would look at vegan meats and think, oh, that's actually better for the environment. They taste so much better now than they used to. It's healthier for me, it's kind to the animals. And they would give it a go. They were curious, they were excited, and it felt like we were all trying to do a bit more for the planet. So people were a lot better with vegan meats and a lot more curious and a lot more likely to order them. A few years after that, we've got increased concerns about ultra-processed food, which I think are so warranted. We definitely have built a society around way too many ultra-processed foods. However, people love to yell about how a vegan sausage is like fake food and ultra processed and bad for you. And I wouldn't eat a vegan sausage. I'm gonna have the real meat sausage, which is also ultra processed and on top of that, a carcinogen. But that sort of messaging doesn't get out there. For some reason, people will look at a vegan sausage now and think a meat sausage is healthier when it's just not. Same with bacon and just other processed meats. Processed meats are carcinogenic and also ultra processed. And it's just been exasperating seeing these really gun in on us. I haven't seen it yet, but I know Joe Wicks has recently started calling out protein bars, like protein powders and stuff like that industry, for being ultra processed. So it's nice to see the attention shift away. But again, we just seem to be unable to have like a proper conversation about this in the media. And instead we have to focus on one category at a time and really demonize them when it's a lot more nuanced than that, but we're in a nuanced deficit these days. Yeah, basically I think there are a lot of vegans and meat eaters now who are opting for vegetable-based vegan dishes when they're out rather than fake meat dishes, and there probably has been a sharp decline in people ordering fake meat when they're out, and it's just frustrating because as far as ultra processed foods go, fake meat is actually one of the best ones out there, considering all it can do for the environment, and like it's replacing meat in a diet which really is not particularly healthy, especially in the quantities that people in like the UK typically eat it. And it's bad for the environment, it's bad for our health, and we could really do with swapping some out. And yeah, like I said, I totally called this in my 2025 video. Even like the brand This, who are really good at doing vegan mock meats, imitation meats, they've had to start doing more products around like very whole food ingredients, high protein as well. Like those are the buzzwords these days, but it's frustrating just because as someone who has been vegan a really long time, the imitation meats really help people go vegan and stick with veganism. And I think a big part of that is the fact that they can kind of eat a lot more foods that they grew up with. A lot of people still grew up eating meat. I definitely did until I was like 10. And trying to start from scratch on like how to build your diet is really hard. Whereas if you get to start with just substituting in sausages and substituting in burgers and stuff like that, it makes going vegan a lot easier to get started on and maintain. And I love a bit of fake meat in a well-balanced diet. I think it really works well, and I think it's a real joy, and it's so frustrating to see it get demonized so much lately. But yeah, out of all those speculations, what do you think it is? I think it might be a mix. I really do feel like they would have seen a drop in the sale of their vegan meat dishes. I just don't believe the vegatsu was underperforming. I really struggle to believe that, but it could be true, and I'd love to see more stats behind that. Yeah, and I also do think that part of it could be cost cutting. I do believe that they prefer the profit margins on the plant-based, like vegetable-based vegan dishes. But honestly, I don't know, so we can all speculate here, and I'd be keen to hear what your thoughts are. I don't really know what we do here. I think we've kind of waited it out. Like I say, the pendulum seems to be swinging from like criticism on the vegan meat over to like artificial protein products, but we need to do some work to get more vegan foods back into the mainstream, back into the restaurants. So yeah, RIP vegatsu. And wagamama, whenever you're ready to apologize, I'm right here. Let me know. Yeah, let me know if your favorite dish has been cut lately, and also let me know what chain restaurants you're still eating in as a vegan. I think one of the best ones is still Banana Tree, if you happen to have one near you. It's not as big of a chain, but yeah, they do like Pan-Asian foods, and as far as I know, I haven't been lately, but they've got a pretty good vegan menu. Obviously, the best place generally to get a good vegan meal is your local vegan restaurant. So I think one of the nice things about this trend is that hopefully it's pushing a lot more vegans back into vegan restaurants and helping support those a bit more. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a while since I've done one of these like vegan deep dives, but this one got me. It's got me really deep. I just never expected from Wagamama. I feel like they've been so good to vegans, and it feels like a stab in the back, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. Mwah.